All right, I'm going to start, but I'm looking for this one. That's right. Looks like I don't have many people joining on, but I'm going to start. If people can hear me, let me know. If you don't, let me know. Just looking at the big picture at the moment. Let me just type something. So if people have a problem hearing me, they can let me know. Let me just type it in. I just need someone to respond. Can you hear me? Is it clear? And just let me know if it's clear or not, because that way I could troubleshoot. But I believe you can hear me. Just someone just say yes, it's all good, clear, the sound's there. Someone just type something in. Let me know if you can hear me. Hello, can anyone hear me? Say yes or no. Hello, can anyone hear me? I'm not getting a response. Not sure if people can hear me. Let me see if I can testing 1, 2, 3. Yep, mic looks good. All right, I'm going to start either way. I'll just get rid of this camera. worth doing it. All right. So here are my thoughts. In the past, if we look at the past history of Bitcoin, we have this. If we were to use history as a guide, and it makes sense, we have this extension to the 1.618, and then price pulls back, touches it, and then finds support and goes back up. That was back in 2013. And similarly, we had this again, this from that level to the bottom, where there was a bear market, comes down, finds a spot, and this is the level where we have the ratio from 0 to 1 and the 1.618 extension. Price comes back down, tests the 1.618 level, and then makes new highs. Similarly, we use this level here and the bottom as a reference as 0, 1. Again, similarly to the previous past, we're on the 1.618 fib extension, where we're looking for support. So right there, we have a similar situation, and this is what we're looking to hold. So this level is clear. So if I was to just move this a bit more clearer, that's the bottom there, and that's the top. You can see the wicks have been touching here, and therefore I do see, I don't know, 29,600 or so holding that spot. And this is what we're looking at as support. Now, so for every scenario that we play or any assumption that we have, if this line is to be broken, this key level, then the TA becomes void. So right now, it's so far holding true. So this 1.618 extension on the macro level is playing to the previous price action. So this is what makes us bullish, and that's one perspective. Okay. The other one is the Elliott Wave count. So if we were to do the Elliott Wave count, well, let's have a look. This is that's 1, 2, 3, 4 should be there. It could possibly go further down, but this, and I'll explain why I don't think it should go down anymore. But it's possible that it could go down, and then the fifth wave. So the bear market is not in play at the moment. To think this is a bear market, we need to see price action beyond this level. So like here, we have price coming down, up and down, and that tells us it's a bear market. All we've had so far is one price come down, which is a correction, and it's a deep correction, but that's what was expected. So moving forward, we need to see something that tells us is a bear market. At the moment, we don't have any data. All we have is one direction at the moment, and it's playing support just like previously at that key level. So let me just clear that up. And I want to get this chart. Let me just put, I don't know what color, yellow. Yellow's pretty good. No, make it orange. So the Elliott Wave count is 1, 2, 3, 4. Usually 3 to 4 is a complex one. From 2 to 3 is usually a straight, most profitable move, and it's the biggest move. And from 4 to 5 is usually small or short, and it could match the length of from 0 to 1. Okay, so this could potentially, and a lot of people have been talking about 100K, and that makes sense at this point. So what do we have at the point, from an Elliott Wave perspective? We have our A, our B, and our C. Okay, so A, B, C, it can potentially go a bit further down, but then that puts us at risk of that being a resistance and then the bear market. So this is not a good situation. However, it can still be considered an Elliott Wave correction with ABC. There's three scenarios. This is a zigzag one, and the reason why we think this is the level is basically because of that, as well as if we were to do the fib extension from there, I think it was from there to there, we had the 1.618 level all the way down to this level here. But I need to go into a small time frame. Give me a sec. Oh, there's a lot of drawings there. Give us a look. So if that was my count from there to there, and then if I just get rid of the fib, so you can see ever so slightly, if I was to do that, you can see it's a 1.618 level up to a point. I can potentially use that. No, I can't. I can use that one there. So 1.618, just slightly over extension. And so if this doesn't hold, well, this other factor holds true, which is the macro 1.618 extension. I do look at line, and there's not many people online, so that's a bit disheartening. But anyway, so we have the CME gap here. We spoke about in the past. So this also looks like a strong area for buying. But as I said before, this is a key level. Now, here's another perspective. What we're seeing here. Let me just hide these, and I can get rid of these ones. I need to hide a whole bunch of stuff here. Now, if you look at this formation, so we're talking about why at the macro level, this is going to be a strong support level. There could ever be so slightly a quick dip and then bounce, maybe to cover this CME gap. How low could it go? Not sure. But at this point, I have 27K range as my absolute bottom for the dip. If the 4 hour, if we saw this come down, and it's no surprising that it can't come back down to this level, which is about 28K range. And if it does hit that level, we could see potentially another spike, and that will be the third touch. So if I cover the big picture, why this 1.618 is a strong level for support from historical perspective. Also talked about the Elliott Wave count and the ABC correction. So this could be basically that. And that's the Elliott Wave with the 5 impulses or motive waves. So having assumed that, I'll come back to it later. What I want to do is look at this picture here and what's taking place. So I want to talk about this area for the time being. And what I can do is go to another chart without compromising this. Okay. Now what we have, and by the way, what I'm putting on the chart is not just my opinion. I have looked at other people's opinion, and I've included their ideas into my presentation here. So it's just not mine. So if you do see on YouTube 1 or 2 things that are similar, it could be either coincidence or it could be that I've leveraged off that information as well. Now, here's a point I want to make. Let's see. Just give me a second, I'll get to that. Just going to correct this a bit. This line is pretty important. And what we have is another line. got that right? No, I don't have that right. What I do is, just give me a sec. This line looks important. And we have another one. So all these lines look like, what it seems to be, is a descending wedge. And the reason why we look at this as an important aspect is when price comes in, it touches this line, responds, and then it tries to touch it again to break to the upside, and it comes down, touches it for support, and then comes back up. I might fix this up a bit, but let me just do that. So that's a bit better. And then you can see levels of significance, even probably closer there. I can fix that up as well. So many times this line is being touched. So this line is acting as strong resistance or a line of significance. Similarly, we see along here a lot of support as well. Even though the wicks are down, that's irrelevant. It's more the body of the candles. So you can adjust this to many levels. It doesn't really matter. This could play as well. But what my thoughts on this is that all these lines looks like this is a descending wedge, okay, and or macro. What's the word? Support formation. So here, this is the other possibility. Okay, so this is the last one, and if I was to go from bottom to top, you can see how this 0.382 level is the level of significance. So this one is what I'm more interested in, and I thought this might make it actually a bit of a high, but it's not. So it might come down to this point, and can break up. So what if this was to break this line here at any point, that's when you go long. You can take your chances with this formation and watch the candlesticks, but there is also a possibility that this could go down as well as a breakdown. So there's many. That's the negative. Obviously, that's the negative scenario where capitulation will take place, and it's possible that we lose all that, and then we're looking at this range here, okay, which is an ideal support area, and then price will go up. Now, from a strategic perspective, if you've already got Bitcoin, and this is, and if you're 100% in, that's probably not a good idea. But from a strategy perspective, if this was to find support, what we're looking for is a bullish divergence of some level. All right. So if we see a bullish divergence taking place on the indicators, let me just fix that up a bit. Very messy. Let me add the RSI onto this. So let's go to the 12 of the daily, and let's see if I've got RSI here. Okay, we do. There's too many indicators there. Let's get rid of that. Get rid of that. Now here's the reason why this is looking like a strong support level. You can see it's from the RSI perspective. You can see that was a bullish divergence. that didn't really play out, and now we're sort of losing that. And then we got this. Hold on, let me do it again. So we lost that, and that's why we're dropping a bit. So we lost this component there, and therefore that's now dropping down. And it's possible that it'll come down to one of these two dashed lines to complete this formation. So what we have, when price came down, we had the first sell-off, the bounce, second, so that's the main sell-off, or sorry, the formation. So that's one sell-off, they found support, second support. Went up, another one, found the support. So this is the third bounce. And it's okay for it to come down a bit, as long as it doesn't stay closed down there. And that we have this reference point here as well for the wick. We have that wick there. Let me just hide this for a sec. So we have a few key levels here, right? We have that one there. So price, so if price was to come down here, even if it, you know, so this is going to be a difficult area, obviously, because price, any of this area is acceptable for this formation to be assumed correctly. So you can see on the daily, there's many wicks. And if we have something like that on the daily, then it's likely to hold. I like the fact that this RSI is looking bullish a bit. Let me get rid of that. So RSI found resistance there. Ideally, this would have been a good spot for it to go up, but it didn't quite do it. So there's a bit of a breakdown. So it's going to come back down potentially to this level here for a real sell-off. But it could be anywhere in that range. So this RSI could be anywhere in this range for the bounce, even here. So what we want to see is this line here is our signal to go long from an RSI daily perspective. So if price was to find support anywhere here and then a reversal formation, this will be the signal to go long. So we've got to keep an eye on this. I do believe this is going to come down to this again, this area. So we have this level, we had that one, and one more down wouldn't hurt. It's actually a positive sign, but also it's risky as well, isn't it? So we need to keep an eye on the candles and see if there is on the daily any sort of like strong support. Right now that it's not quite there, but that's still we've still got a bit of time. Now this weekend, Grayscale is releasing a 6 months futures contract, which has been at a discount for some time, which is stopping people from buying, I suppose, from the exchanges, and the volumes aren't reflecting that. You can search that up, and I'll come back to it. I'll bring a reference chart for that. But just purely from this perspective, this wedge formation is looking positive. Now we can do something different to present the information. So if I was to get another chart, let me do this, and let me invert it so we can see. Actually, that's not the one I wanted to. I'll get another chart, and let me invert this one. So you can see this, an inverted perspective. You can see, if we look at the body of the candles, right? You can see this is, if we were to look at this, what is it likely to do? So this is an ascending wedge at this point. If we use the body of the candles, and if we use those wicks, it could be potentially that as well. So just looking at from a different perspective, and if we were to use previous methods, so when you look at a chart like this, you can sort of foretell which way it's going to break out to. At the moment, it looks like the price is, it's knocking on this door, right? So we got, but what I think it's going to do, it's going to drop. I can't see it going up like that. It can, but it's more likely, based on this formation, that the price will break downwards. Or in this case, if we flip that back over, makes sense? So let me just get rid of this line here. An ascending wedge usually has more of a chance of going to the downside. So if we revert that, that's what it looks like. Okay. And if you look at previous price action, similarly, you can say that was another formation of some sort. Come on, I'm clicking it. So you can see how price breaks a continuation pattern, right? So this price is looking like it wants to go up, but it's more likely this area looks like it's just a bottom. From an inverted perspective, it looks like this area where his price is going to hang around this area for some time. And if you were thinking of a bottoming formation, it makes a lot of sense. Bounce, rejection, and then eventually, potentially it can go like that. So I do see this area as where price is likely to come, but there's also that very small possibility that price can go that way as well. So that's another perspective that gives us a bullish perspective. And so let's talk about the scenarios. Okay. So what can we talk about? Let me get rid of these lines. Okay. So that's what's taken place so far. What is likely to? So what's our range? Our range is this. So this is a real strong resistance level right there, and we have this slightly overperformance, and this looks like our support, the bottom range. So price is likely to, and let's divide that to the next level, which is around there. So we're on the bottom quadrant. If we're looking from a bullish perspective, price is likely to hit there and potentially either it's going to hang around this area for a while, or it's going to go hang around in this quadrant. It's not going to be undetermined which way. Right for this wedge. So what we can have is, this is a major resistance right there. Actually, let me get rid of that. This is a major resistance level, 50k roughly, 47, 48, or 50k. That is a strong resistance right there. So price could come up to there. Let's get rid of that, and hang around in that quadrant. Okay, so that is one bullish scenario. We have to So let's see. Yep, that's what I got. Actually, this one's a bit more of a stronger support, another significant level as well. So what is it, 45? So price can potentially go there, come back down, come back here, and do that. And then we'll have more of an idea of what's going on. So you can see this is the bullish scenario that we're talking about. If we add, let's see what we've got. If we add moving averages, and what I want to do is, on the moving average, I want to add I think it's a 200. Daily, yep. So what does this price represent? The average price for Bitcoin, right? So if the 200 moving average on the daily is the mean value for Bitcoin, here Bitcoin was overvalued, so it came back to the mean. So what happens generally is if we have price, if that's the average price, and you have a over performance price coming up, that it has to return to the mean average value, and sometimes it can go undershoot and then it has to come back up. So the average value for Bitcoin is up here at the moment. Before we were way overextended, so this price was way overextended, and what it's done is come back to the average value of Bitcoin. So the average value for Bitcoin right now is about $44,000. So price will go down like it did, but it has to gravitate back to the average value, right? So if that average value is coming down, well, this can't keep going down, right? It can, but it doesn't make sense. So the average price will want to gravitate to the average. So the price will gravitate to the average price. That's the point I'm trying to make. And the 200 moving average is what we're going to use on the daily as a reference point. Now, here's another perspective I want to add. Give me a sec. So we can see from here there's a major with the Ichimoku cloud that this could be a strong resistance level as it is, but you can see there are points where it's getting thinner. So what it's basically indicating is there are areas where price can break through. So if this was to come down, it can potentially break through that area of less resistance. So that's another perspective. I'm not an expert in that area. I'm trying to get my thoughts here. Give me a sec. I had the idea, and I'm trying to think what it was. Bugger. That's right. I just had it. Oh, bugger. Doesn't come back to me. All right, let's look at it from the Fibonacci perspective, and then we'll come back to, hopefully my thoughts come back to me. So this is another perspective. If we were to look at the support level, what was the CME gap? Yep, CME gap is roughly this area. From there, I think it was roughly this area, CME gap. So it can potentially, so what we have, and I think I covered this, let me just go into small time frame, 4 hour, that's right, I've got my ideas right now. Let me come back to it. In what I want to try and see is a pattern, and what tends to happen if you look at any wedge, if it's a wedge, an ascending wedge or a descending wedge, you tend to have three formations, exact something like this, right? Here we go. There's one. That's one bounce, two bounce, three bounce, and then the breakdown. Okay. So that's one example. So 3 comes into basically the Elliott Wave count, or the motive wave of 5. All right. So if we were to count this, try and make a point here. Just give me a sec. So if we count this, we got 1. So that's A, or that's A, B, C, D, E. So there's five impulses there before it breaks down. Similarly here, if we do this, so that's an ascending wedge, and we got three moves. 1, 2, 3. Similarly here we have 1. That's 1, 2, and 3. So it's likely, I'm not saying it's going to go down that far, but what we have is a sell-off. We have a good sell-off here. Here's a good buy, and then drop. Here is sell, 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 and then potentially up. So that the three, when you see something like that, and it's clearly defined here where the segmentations of the three sell-off cycles, and this could be basically the last sell-off cycle before we get there, and it fits into this descending wedge movement. Okay, so that's another reason why I'm looking at this as a bullish perspective. Just the bumps or the bounces that you can see, it tends to play a lot. Even here, like you can see here, it's like 1, 2, 3, and then up. So the three always comes into play with big moves, especially when there's a big structure. So on that perspective, I do see this, and what we have is we've got support there, support there, support there, very similar to this, right? But you can see the signatures, and just really depends how low this is going to go. It could go down to this low. It still fits the model, as basically I got this descending wedge. Hi, can I say you can hear me, right? Musak, yeah, you can hear me. I'm talking, but no one's telling me they can hear me, so I'm just going away, talking, yapping on. So this is why I look at this as a bullish sign, and if we were to, I'll actually get into grayscale as well, and I'll talk about that as well. So what we're having is a lot of FUD, a lot of bearish stuff on the internet, a lot of saying sell, 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 but the key traders I'm looking at, they're all bullish. We can hear you, great, thank you. So the key traders that I follow, there's a few of them. You know, I'm still learning on this, but they got much more experience than me. They are bullish. All right, so, but you look at the media and you look at, I don't know, some YouTube guys and all the rest, they're bearish. And the fear factor is high. Everything basically tells you that this is a good buying opportunity. Yep. I'm 70% in. I've got 30% left. And what I'm going to do is place my orders in this quadrant here. So if it does come down to these levels, I'm going to leverage high. So what I've done is I've accumulated. What I'm looking at now is looking for leverage buys. So I'm going to put not significant money, but money that I'm going to leverage high with and take that risk. Yeah, 29,400. Yeah, that's fine. Could drop to 29,400. That's all possible. So, and here's a thing that I want to make as a strategy. Imagine you sell off here, okay? Do you think if price drops here, that it's not going to come back here before it goes down? So there's no point of selling at this area. Right here is a great opportunity to buy. I don't think it will make it. There might be some weak hands that will sell. But you can see from here, areas of significance, right? As price comes up, resistance, resistance, and then up. So these levels are area of significance as well. Is price going to come down here? If it comes here, it's fantastic. But I just don't think it's going to make it. It can, based on this, it can, it can capitulate and then up it goes. It could do many things, as you possibly see. Look at this. There was a capitulation there, and you saw how price just bounced back up. This is very cheap. This area, 24 to 26, is a great area to buy, but is it going to make it? I don't know. But you can see, based on these signs, like you can see these pivot points, even if you just consider the pivot points, this is a descending wedge or a reversal cycle. I'm convinced of that. Let me just get rid of those. So I'm being pretty much giving you a bullish scenario and the reasons for it. Elliott Wave, yeah. So the Elliott Wave it's likely to fit in this model. So we've got something like this. And if you look at that, if you look at this scenario here, the smaller moves, I suppose, you can say that's 3, 4, and that's 5 there, all right? So that was, if we look on from an 80 perspective, that was from there to there, this one here. So what we're looking for is this section here. So this section here basically could be pretty much 3 scenarios, which is A, B, C, and then up. So that's one scenario. Let me just get rid of that. So I'll just move that to the side. The other scenario is, yeah, and that 4 could be down here. All right, so this is a double bottom. This is pretty much pretty clear what it is. So if this was our, now here's a question. From here to there, is that a and is that a B, and is this our C? That's what a lot of people are thinking at the moment, where this is the 1.618 extension. Okay, so that's one scenario. The other scenario is this our A, is this our B, and is this our C? And then back up. So we've got these two scenarios. Pretty much many people are adamant that this is wave 3 from a lot of the seasoned traders. They still see this as wave 3 to 4, what's happening here. So if they are wrong, then they are wrong. What will make them wrong? Well, if price keeps coming down, right? But then it will be too late. But the thing is, we haven't seen a significant bounce, not really. And if you look at historical reversals or bear markets, let's go back and I'll show you. I'm sort of doing a lesson here, but anyway, a bear market, let's see, let's pick the daily and pick it out. I didn't pick the best chart, did I? Bugger. So what's this one? Perpetual contracts, all right. This one's a bit better. So here we have, that's a top off. So you see this, so I think what we're currently roughly around is, in this example, is somewhere around here. And we've got this last parabolic move. So we don't have that yet. And I've always been thinking in the past that we need this parabolic blow off top. And it's not a parabolic blow off top. This is just a nice phase, a phase of this cycle. And you can see that where here was volatility, massive volatility, is a blow off top. This isn't. This is just a big correction and looking for support, isn't it? So comparing it from the previous, it's more like this area here, what's taking place, really. Although this is a big dump here and then another move on. It's not this parabolic move, and it's not this parabolic move here as well. It's not a blow off top. This is just a big dump, and therefore this area. So if I was you, and what I'm doing is I've already bought in. I think it was around last time. I think I bought around here, so I didn't sell it. So the next round is around here, and I'll place my. So now I'm going to leverage because now I'm seeing more and more of the picture. I'm going to leverage, and obviously I'm going to put money at risk, but it's not going to be my major funds. What I'm going to do is, for instance, just say if I put $10,000 there, and then I leverage it on 10 times or 20 times, I'm willing to risk the 10,000 for the big gain, rather than risking my 100K for long leverage. That'll be stupid. Because there's no guarantees that that's going to happen. What we'd like to see is, I'd rather risk a small amount, 5K, 10K, leverage high, and get a lot of wins from that. So we've counted this 1, 2, 3. It's fitting into this model of a descending wedge. So far, so good. And I just don't see it likely to just drop through and do that. I just can't see that happening. And many of the seasoned traders don't see that happening. So that's why I'm looking to leveraging in these layers here. I've got a few layers there from 27K, 28K, and 29K. And the more it drops, the bigger the order is, pretty much. So that's my approach. Okay. And what I said before, if I was to look at from a daily perspective, there's a few models that's going to take place or likely to take place. If we were to place our lines, that's the top. I like this one. I don't really quite like that top there. I like this one here. And I think that's, yeah, you know why I like this one here? I like this one because it is the golden ratio, which is 61,800 or something like that. So that to me is probably the main resistance, and that's just overperformance. And so this is I'm going to use this as a main reason for as a rejection area, because it aligns. So what is it? If I do 61,800, which is a golden ratio, just about there, so it's perfect. So price did come to 618,800, perfectly there, and got rejected. And this one could have been just slightly overperformance. So I like this level as the range. And if I was to look at the bottom, we've got the bottom. So price is either going to do this, come up to some point, and do that again, and so on. Now I remember what I was going to talk about. If you guys have missed my previous presentation, what one of the guys on the internet or YouTube did was he made an interesting commentary, and basically what he said was the distribution time is usually roughly the accumulation period. So if I get this price, if I said distribution previously, so this was the distribution formation here. Oh, come on. So this was a distribution formation here before we went down. So if this was distribution, not this top, this is a blow off top, but if this formation, and you can say that is the distribution, because we got this, what do we got? A, B, C, D, E, and then down, right? So that's the distribution, similar to this formation here. Yeah. But this is an ascending wedge where the other one isn't. So we've got the A, B, C, D, E as well there. So I'm going to use two points here. So I get the time, the period, date. So that's my A to there, to the point of distributing, getting rid of crypto. So if I copy that, it sort of fits into the accumulation period in some way. So what he said was the distribution is also the accumulation period for the bottom. So if that was the case, And we could probably apply it to a few areas. Like for instance here, if this was a distribution period, we can get that, and we can probably, so applying those principles, and I covered this last time. So if this was our, I'm not sure if I include this one here, that one there, that could be part of the distribution, or there. So we're going to compare two ranges. So if this is our distribution, and we get that, so it's pretty much close to it. But I think by applying this one here, this point here as distribution as well, the period you can see is up to this level here. And if I was to get the end of this, about mid-August, so we've got to, so if we're looking close, so we are using this point of reference, this point to this point as distribution, this range. This whole thing is distribution of price. So we're going to apply that to this level as accumulation. So we still got a few weeks to go. So if that theory is correct, it's just a theory. Okay, this looks like potentially, let's see here. So just say this was really actually hitting real dirt bottom and just very low volatility, and then it breaks up. That makes sense, right? That can make sense that it does this. It just drops and just doesn't drop anymore, this area here. If it drops fast, then it will bounce fast. But if it drops, so if it grinds away and then grinds away and just hold, and there's no more selling in this area, it's likely this could be the pivot point. So if we look at the previous bottoming, there's many examples you can use as a reference of a bot. So you want to study the bottoms, right? So if we look at this bottom, what we have here is a V shape, and then you can say Adam and Eve type of thing. That is a bottom formation, or you can say it's pretty much a bit of a triangle. But so you can see low volatility is right there, and if we look at that carefully, it's not. So we had the dump. So this is a massive dump, a nice bounce, which is about 50%. I think it was a 50% bounce. So let's see how we go from there to there to there. Actually, I'm doing the wrong way. Let's go back one. From there to there. It's actually 0.382. It's not on the 50%, so it's not on 50% bounce. It's 0.382 bounce. But you can see from here, once we've got the bounce, 2 rejections to the upside at that key level, and then price gets pushed down again, and you can see the volatility just drop, and well, these are daily candles, right? So you can say that's a week there in its place, just real low volatility in the week, and another week coming to it. So 2 weeks in a row, just dropping off volatility before it does a reversal. So here was the capitulation level. So if we were to look at that kind of bottoming effect, this bottoming is much more clearer. So it doesn't always have to work out that way. So you can see this one, I suppose, is a what do you call it? A bowl, or you can see that formation take place, or a triangle, similar. So this one was clear, strong candles on the daily. That will make a nice reversal pattern. We don't have that. So what we're looking for now is, as this drops, we can have 1 or 2 weeks of low volatility at this level. So I do see this grey box area as a good buying opportunity there if it gets down to that level. So hopefully that answers your question. 27K to 28K range is a good buying opportunity, pretty much. What will happen to the alts? I don't know. Haven't looked at that yet, but I do see this potentially break down one more time. Let's have a look at this on the daily. So what we have, so we did break this. See how we got that there. The RSI has broken that. Now it's going to come back down for the second. So I do see this coming down for the time being. I do see this coming down a bit more to this area. And this RSI is dropping because it's already broken this level, this line. So I do see it coming down a bit more. What else can it do? Well, let's see if it can. It is possible. Nah, that's not possible either. It's already gone. So I do see this coming slightly to this grey box area. I don't see it coming down this side. I don't see it coming down to this level, because that was a capitulation area. That was like a massive drop, and the last time we did that was the COVID period. So I don't see that happening. So the RSI gives us a bit of a hand. I'll try and push it up. So that was a COVID period. That was massive capitulation, overselling, and you can see previously here, this level on the daily is a good buying area. So that was one buying area. Can it drop all the way down? I don't see it coming down all that way deep. I just see it around here, pretty much, something like this, like these ones here. Once there's a big dump, the second one usually is not that much. Like here, you can see how the RSI starts, because you have the capitulation. Here was a capitulation as well, a big dump, and then buying momentum to upside. So I just see us pretty much looking to buy in this area, and I'm going to go leverage, as I said, leverage, and then potentially another move to the upside, maybe one more rejection, and then potentially move up like that. Okay, so this area for this wedge is the first target. This red line, which is symbolic from there, is probably the second. So get a rejection. So you get the A, B, C, or the 1, 2, 3. Get a rejection there, or if it passes decisively, then you'll use this as support, and then we're in this quadrant. So I do see us here for a while, but if we have a decisive move from here, and then we get the FOMO people coming through, it could push the price up. Now this is all the bullish scenario, right? So I've given my reason for bullish scenario. When to go long? If you want to be a conservative, I would wait for this RSI to break this line here. This line here. If you want to go be conservative, I'll use that as a reference. There's one more line here I have. Give me a sec. There's a second line here. So that's the second reference line. So we've got two lines that are of value. So if price was to break this, RSI was to break this level, the first one, great. That's one good signal. But the second one is definitely, because you can see it's been respected from the RSI perspective on many occasions where it's acting as resistance all the way through. So that's a good scenario. Now, what other indicators could I use? I could use the MACD as well, but I do have, and if you follow me, you know the Phoenix. I'll add that to the story, and I'll look at the weekly. Let's look at the weekly, right? Where am I? So I've done a lot of, okay, the weekly doesn't come in good, all right? So you can see on the weekly, let's just get rid of these. So you can see on the weekly, let's see how this works, this RSI. Okay, so it's coming down to this level, not this box, sorry. So the weekly, I do have this trend line as pretty much acting as support. So it does fit the model as well. That it's got a bit more to go down and find support on this trend line here on the RSI. So I'm happy with that as well, that this level here. Okay, now on the weekly, this Phoenix, you can see the green RSI, and you can see the energy momentum to the upside pressure is up on the weekly. It's actually bullish, and you can say that, and you can see the green RSI has crossed over the red RSI on the weekly. So it looks like it's ranging sideways, and it's likely to go up. And you can use historical references. All right, so whenever we had a crossover with the energy above 50%, so I've discussed this on my previous streams. So here, 50%, you can see right there, it crosses over and the energy is above 50%. You can see that is a good signal and slowly upward pressure. So we have that. So if I was to, this was for the period, but we have that there right now, similar to that. Where the energy is above, this is a bit more stronger because of that weekly candle. We don't have that yet. So if we have that strong weekly candle, this could go up pretty much vertical. So at the moment, it just looks like it's going sideways. Okay, so using this Phoenix, the weekly perspective is we have this line crossover. So it is telling us that's a good signal. It doesn't mean it's going to go up anytime fast, but what I do see is a period of accumulation here and then up. So if you look on that on the weekly, yeah, you can see how this weekly is likely to stay that way, and it's no different to this. We could probably have 1 or 2, 3 more weeks of probably going sideways and looking for the bottom, just like this. Low volatility, boring. So I wouldn't be in a rush to buy any time. And that's what I have at the moment. And what we have, if we delete that, didn't want that. You see that 618 is a support level. Like historical charts. So if I was to do that, this one doesn't have it, bugger. It's not old enough. And I'll cover this in the early session. So let me look at the commentary. Oh, this room is warm. Give me a sec, guys. Okay, so I'm just reading comments. Okay, so now if all the assumptions are wrong, based on the evidence there is, so let's look at the grayscale. Give me a sec. I want to see where is that grayscale reference point? Where's my I've lost it, didn't I? Actually, this one might do. So this is what people have been talking about, this chart, and I can't do it on here, can I? Bugger. Right here, you can see Grayscale is giving a premium discount of 15% of the current Bitcoin price. So the market, people are going here to get a 15% discount, which is around 28K of the current price, or maybe in the 27K. So people are getting Bitcoin to 27 or 28K at the moment. So this is the downward pressure on Grayscale, and they bought a whole bunch of, I don't know, over 500,000 Bitcoins and so on. And they're trying to, and I think the contract, the 6-month contract is up in, what was it, this Sunday. So that's going to be interesting to see how that impacts the charts. Okay, so if we look at the holdings, I think it was the holdings. No, that's not what I wanted. I think it might have to be, yeah, I can't get it because I think you got to be a subscriber on this. Yeah, I think you got to be a subscriber to get the other chart, and I'm not a subscriber, so yeah, there is a chart I don't have. Yeah, I can't do it here. I've seen it somewhere else on the internet, so I can't really show you that, guys. But this is one of the main reasons why Bitcoin is not moving as quick as it should, because of these grayscale discounts. Okay, here we go. So no credit, no. That's all I can get right there. All right, so I want to point that out. I'll get rid of that. Let's see anything else that comes to mind. There is, let's see if we can add that on. Give me a sec. I can't remember which one it was. Was it that one? That's one. And is this the logarithm of the curve? That didn't work, did it? Give me a sec. One. Come on, nothing seems to be working. All right, here we go. Let's see if this is the one. You can see even this is, I'm not sure if this is the one I was looking at before. This line here, acting as on the channel. So if this is the channel, I don't think this is the one, but this is similar. You can see that that is a major fib level as well. So we had this one here. So we had this. Yeah, this is not the one. Yeah, this is not the one I was looking at. So this is not the one. No, let me try and find it again. Bugger. Where was it? Where was it? What's it called? Was that one? Ah, that's better. So what I want to do is get a better chart. Is that a better chart? Okay, here we go. So you can see this logarithmic chart tool. So the top, let me hide these ones. Where's that one? So if you look at that, you can see if I come in close, there's levels to this, right? So I'm just going to do one of them. You can see in between this channel and the next one bottom, in between, you can see there was a channel there, and you can see how it was respected right there. Yeah, you can see how these lines actually do play a role. And if I was good at this, I can also, so that was another channel in between, which is, it works. Well, that's my point. Right now, that I'm not going to go into trying to set this up, but this channel here, we just played that out, and the next channel below is somewhere roughly there. Oh, let's see. Actually, it's this one here, isn't it? That one there. So you can see how this is another major support level as well. That channel there, and it fits to our model. But so we were working from different perspectives. We can do the Fibonacci vertical wise, and we did that. And now we're looking at Fibonacci from a channel perspective. And you can see from this channel, let's just zoom in a bit. So I'm using this line here, so this blue line. Let's see if I can get that one. Which one is that? That's the one. So if I get that thick, you can see how that's a channel, a fib level, and it's likely to act as a strong support. And if I look at that again, whoops, what fib level is that? No, that was 23 point. Okay, based on that channel, 23% one, which is the absolute bottom. So that gives me another confidence builder as to why that is going to be acting as a good support. Just the fact that we've got this fib channel, which acted. So if you look at here, acted as support, acted as resistance, and acted as resistance here. That wick acted as support. Down here acted as support. So this channel is historically has a significant impact. So I do see this area again, that box there, as another reason for buying in, if that helps. And that's pretty much it. So I pretty much went into a lot of reasons why I'm bullish, and if it breaks below this key level, then I would say go bearish. So if I was to say, if it breaks this key level, so I got this, so I will use that right there. So there's two levels in here, and if the day, we're talking about the daily, right? The daily candle. If the daily candle closes below this line here or this line here, then I'll go bearish, and that's probably that's going to throw all the assumptions out of the window. So that's what I have in terms of Bitcoin. Ethereum. So if we look at Ethereum, Ethereum has something similar to Bitcoin as well. Like I said, with Bitcoin, we had this one sell-off, second sell-off. This is a third sell-off. So this can potentially is another wedge, really. So we have this type of scenario as well. And I would use this level here. So I'll ignore that. Very similar to Bitcoin. These lines of significance. And if it goes below this, so if I'll use the body, so I'll use that as the body of the candles, and I'll use this second level as a wicks. So for Ethereum, if it breaks below this, then I'll go bearish. But I do see anywhere around here for Ethereum as a buying opportunity. I'll look at this area first. So if we look at this right there, that's a level. So you can see here how this was support, resistance, support, and so on. So this line, if price comes back down to, I don't know, 1720 for Ethereum, that's a good level to buy. And if it goes below that, then I'll go bearish on the 4 hours. So if the 4 hours are closed below this red line for Ethereum, I'll go bearish. All right. And obviously there's a lot of other lot of alts, but this does look like a nice reversal pattern, not a topping off pattern, not a topping off formation. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking at the moment. Let's see ADA. I want to see what ADA's doing. I haven't looked at it for a while. Actually, what's this one doing? So that's a bit more bearish. So this is not reliable at this point. So what have we got here? So this level, it's already been lost, really. That's a strong level that's been lost. So do I see a formation taking place? Not yet. So 1, 2 is trying to go. It probably can. Actually, there's another thing. Let's look at this. Okay, I'm just looking at this line. So that's acting as support and resistance. So that you can see how that came into play, and then break below it, and pretty much sideways. This, yeah. So I will leave that. Not an easy one to figure out. Where are we at? Actually, this one that has been holding up well. Okay, you can see I've been looking at this for a while in the past. Oh, it's broken that level. So where are we at now? Oh, okay, so we're breaking a key level. But that's still, it's just going to be a harder slog. What do we have in terms? Has it got anything similar to Bitcoin? Just want to see, can we salvage anything out of this? Yeah, maybe that might work. It is yeah. So this is the main resistance for ADA. That's my level of resistance, which is about $1.40 something. But this can be, so if Bitcoin was to drop, I could see this area to be a buying position for ADA. Let's see what the indicator says. Okay, so that's already hit the bottom. So there's a bit of a bullish divergence there. Yeah, I wouldn't buy anytime soon. I would actually just put something in this area. If it was to capitulate at any time, that would be a good buying area. At times it does that. So there's a few wicks, like this one was a real nasty one. So whoever bought this made a good money, did well. So it's possible that if that was to go down, maybe like a channel, it could be a channel as well. Yeah, I would just by luck, really. I don't think it will go there, but just take your chances and put something down there. It might just bang and then up. So this area, this is a good support area of demand. I don't think it'll come there. I think this will be more of a reason, but you never know. There's a lot of panic, loose hands, and it might just come down here. That might be a good spot to buy. 80 cents. Just put some orders there as well. I think that would be a good opportunity as well for ADA. I already have ADA, but I'm not looking to buy anything unless it really drops hard. I'll buy the alts for something that really drops hard. And at this point, I can't tell which ones that they're going to be. I can see ADA's holding well. So this line, so if I just have a clear look, so you can see this area is pretty much, so if I save this for a sec, that didn't work. Yeah, I just see this actually probably turning around from here. Not much. It's not. I don't think it's going to drop that much. Anyway, and one more coin I'm interested in. Okay. Solana. Let's see how Solana's looking. Solana's actually it's holding up well, isn't it? So is that a distribution? You can see here how Solana behaved. And you can see how that, so if we have something similar, let's see how do we have something similar like that. That can be part of it. Time will tell. So I see this line of significance. It can potentially go much more down to this level, similar to this. So we've got 1, 2, yep. We don't have anything clear like that. So I would wait to get more clues as to what's happening with Solana and ADA, all the alts. I like to see some formation like this before and look for the breakout before I buy the alts. Unless they really drop hard, and then I'll look for something that's more of an accumulation or an opportunity. If I was to do this, let's see what's happening. What's that fib level? Let's just apply defaults. There we go. So you can see that it's come down to the 618 level, and that those levels were buying opportunities. And you can see these fib levels were areas of resistance. So it's fitting very well in terms of what is resistance, what is support with the fib levels. So if this was to come down here again, it can potentially be just an ascent, a triangle like that. So that will be a nice area to buy, and then that will be the third touch really. Like to see that touch once more here, and then potentially like that. So anyway, that's something to look for, not to buy yet. And you can see a few times the candles, the wicks. So there might be a wick in this area here. This might be a good opportunity where it just goes oversells and then goes up, and then it touches this level of significance. So Solana, that's what I'll be looking at. Putting some orders probably down there, looking for those easy sell-offs. That's all I've got for now. I think that's pretty much it. So anyone has any questions? I've been on for a while, haven't I? How long have I been on it? I'm not sure. So what have I been on for? Okay, I don't know how long I've been on. Doesn't tell me. Okay, an hour and a half. Yep, time to go. So actually, here's a few other ones. I won't be long. Let's see TrueBit. I think this is not the chart. Let's get another one. CoinGecko. Not this one. Sorry guys, just give me a sec. CoinGecko. Because I use Browse. I use Brave a lot. So if I look at this, 14 days. Okay, nice. Price is 19. Yep. So if it's dropped down a fair bit, but still going long with this could be a good opportunity for TrueBit. Let me see another one. Okay, this one here. Okay, so it's probably a good time to buy this as well. So if you look at this historically, it's really come back down to the bottom. So that could be another opportunity to accumulate. Give me a sec. Pfizer. Okay. So I'm going long with TrueBit. It's one of those ones time to accumulate and go long. Yep. Can't see it dropping anymore really. 19 cents. Yep. Okay. All right, guys. If you've got no questions, let's give it a wrap. So this is my master chart. Already at bugger, it's already moving up again. So you can see, right? I think it is. Yeah. See, it's already playing up, finding strong support on the daily, on the 12 hours. So there's a nice bullish candle. Let's see how that plays out. But you can see. So what I've done, there's a lot of formations within there. I just can't see this. So this formation is roughly equivalent to this. So I'm seeing a move. Where is it? So we've got that, and then that. So I got more orders here, this area here. Actually, up to 27, up to there. Actually, I got my orders all the way there, and so I got this range. And if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, bad luck. So this is my area of orders with leverage. That maybe being hopeful, but I'm already 70% in. So if there's a potential, so that's taking place. This could be a channel that goes just sideways down, and we'll see what happens. But this is my area of interest, just for a bit of a sell-off, but probably not. So I might get a few orders filled in. I've got about four orders, and I'm looking at. I've got them layered, and if it can come down here, great. Now, if price was to drop further, then that's not good, is it? So it's possible. So I see that as a channel. but I don't see 1, 2, 3 this part playing out. It's just too wishful, I think. Maybe later on, but not now. Now, the last part I will say is when we hit the bear market, I do see Bitcoin come down to 10 to 14K. So whatever it is, wherever it goes up to, I do see Bitcoin retesting these levels, this area, and I don't see it, if it does come down that level, I don't see price passing this level. If if Bitcoin wants to go up and the bear market, wherever it is, I don't see it going below this area of 10K. I don't think it will hit 10K. Between 10K to 14K is my big guess. But that's it, guys. Wrap it up. Thanks for coming on, and hopefully I can do more of this. For those who know, I've been distracted with family issues and so on, with the passing of my dad. So I just needed a break. So thanks for joining. Thanks for your support, and I'll talk to you later.